Hi and welcome back. In the previous video you've looked at development stages of this section. To build a simple web chatbot with React, we first need to set up React app. We'll do this in this video. In the resources you have link to create React app module. If you've created a React app before, you've probably used it before. If not, you'll get to know it now. This module will help us create React app with no build configuration. Do you remember how in the backend app we couldn't use import statement? Well, this module will install Babel out of the box. With Babel we'll be able to use all the latest syntax features of JavaScript. We won't be handling the dependencies ourselves, and we'll have no trouble setting up configuration. And it'll also install Webpack, lint, support for JSX, that is XML-like syntax that makes React way more elegant and easy to use. It also installs a build script to bundle JavaScript, CSS and images for production. And it will come with live development server that will warn you about mistakes. Perfect for our single page application. Let's install it. If you have NPM version greater than 5.2, you can use NPX. If you have an older version, I strongly encourage you to upgrade. Why NPX? Well, NPX is cool when you have a package like Create React App. This package is something you don't run many times, but it would be useful to have it installed globally. But since you don't use it frequently, it will be probably outdated the next time you need it. This is when NPX is handy. NPX is a replacement for installing global packages. It encourages you to install packages locally, but you're still able to run them as if they were global. NPX checks the local node modules folder for the package, and if it's not there, it'll install it and run it as if it was global. So okay, go to terminal, go to project folder. In here we'll create a front-end page. Run npx create React app, and now the name of the folder where the app will be installed. That is client. So npx create -react -app client will install the new React app into client folder. It will create page folder inside the current folder. This will take a while. I'll fast forward. Okay, I can now move to client folder. Type ls to list all the files and folders. Or better, let's open them in the WebStorm or the editor of your choice. And let's check the structure of this folder. First, I'll open package.json file. React app used to be a demanding task to get started. Before you'd set up a Webpack, Babel and React, you'd be really stressed out. Now we only have React scripts to do all the work for us. And we have some scripts predefined for us. The first one being start. This one starts development server. Let's try it out. Go to terminal and navigate to client folder. In here we can run it. You can use yarn or npm. Yarn is faster, but it's basically built on top of npm packages. Therefore, when installing packages, it's actually the same thing. But let's now use npm for running the app. Write npm run start. And woohoo! This command started the web server. Now you have a page on the address localhost and port 3000. Yes, backend runs on 5000 and frontend on 3000, so a different port. This is just a simple startup template. It's a place to start working on your application. And where does it load from? Let's look at the files. Go back to editor. Now open public folder and open the index.js that is inside. The most important part of this file is the div with id root. This is where your React application gets rendered in your browser. The other important files, React files, are in the source folder. Open it. In this folder we'll put all our code. Let's have a quick look at the existing ones. Open index.js. Index.js stores our render call from React DOM. It imports app.js components and tells React where to render it. Remember the div with an id of root. And index.css stores the base styling of the application. Okay, and here it imports service worker. The service worker is a web API that helps you cache your assets and other files so that when user is offline or on a slow network, page will still be working. With Service Worker, users can still see results on the screen, and as such, it helps you build a better user experience. Service Worker is all about adding offline capabilities to your site. Okay? Now open app.js. App.js is a sample React component called app that we get free when creating a new app. We'll actually be deleting the entire contents of this file and starting over, but don't panic. App.css contains styling. And finally, logo is just the React logo. Okay. And app.test.js is our first set of tests to run against the app. We won't be adding tests in this tutorial. Okay, let's go back to package.json file and look at other scripts available. The next thing we see is build script. Build script bundles the app into specific files for production. Basically, this means that it's going to take all the JavaScript code that the browser can't interpret without any help, and it will turn it into a smaller minified version that the browser can read and understand. It shrinks the file down as much as possible so that it can reduce the download time. And all this without us needing to do any configuration. Next script is the test. It will run tests for our app. In this course we won't be creating tests, but it's always a great idea to run your tests as you go along. Last one is eject script. This one removes React scripts tools and copies build dependencies, configuration files and scripts into the app directory. We won't be touching this one. And one more thing before we move on and start building the UI. Open app.js. Do you remember I mentioned JSX? If you're familiar with this part, you can skip this part of the video. I'll give you a quick information about JSX. JSX is a templating language that looks very similar to HTML. This allows you to write templates for your components in a way that's very comfortable to developers already familiar with HTML. But there are a few extra things that it provides. JSX is a preprocessor step that adds XML syntax to JavaScript. Therefore, it's not just text, but also expressions. After compilation, JSX expressions become regular JavaScript function calls and evaluate to JavaScript objects. This means that you can use JSX inside of if statements and for loops, assign it to variables, accept it as arguments, and return it from functions. You can definitely use React without JSX, but JSX makes React a lot more elegant. Just like XML, JSX tags have a tag name, attributes, and children. If an attribute value is enclosed in quotes, the value is a string. But you'll see more when we work with it. And again, if you're completely new to React, I recommend taking a React Basic course. In the next video, I will talk about why we need two servers. And we'll add a script to run both servers at once for easier development. See you soon. Bye-bye.